close out the Zoom instead of hitting unpause on the recording.
Bye.
Just kidding. I don't feel like recording. Bye.
Bye. JK, I'm over it. Bye.
We only talked for 19 minutes this time.
Proud of us because we know we got a deadline.
That's true.
I gotta go cut grass.
Yeah, and I get to go sit at jujitsu outside, which is fine because I'm gonna finish a book I'm reading. It's not bad. I just read the whole time. It's bad when it's 92 degrees outside and I'm sweating in my black car. I will sit with the air on for an hour and run out my gas. I don't even care.
1000%. You cannot catch me doing
that. You won't catch me roasted in my car. No,
you will not catch me doing that. I was reading Haunting Adeline last night.
You're on the first one still? Haunting?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I put it down and then like read 3 other books and then I was like, I should finish that. I finished that Unhinged.
No. First of all, let's talk about this with our audience, okay? Let's talk about it. She said to me, we got to work one day, she's like, bitch, you got to read this book called Unhinged. And I'm like trying to think, and I'm like, oh, is it Unhinged something? Because there's like, a person's name. And she's like, no, it's literally called Unhinged. And I said, what is it about? And what did you tell me?
I don't remember. How did I prep it? Like, it's just
a lady fucks a door. And I was like, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah. Yep.
And you were like, you got to read it. It's like 75 pages. And I was like, I can't do it. I can't.
It was 71 pages. So I have to write it down in my read books because I had to. Like our groups that we belong to were talking about it. And I was like, it's only 71 pages. I'm intrigued. What is it? It was so bad, guys.
Now they have one called Pillow or something where it's about a pillow.
Yeah. Which I can understand a pillow possibly.
That's like
door.
Correct. But from what I read, because I was like, okay, I'm going to read the about section. And I was like, I'm still not doing it. But it's like somebody's a shifter, right? So he like shifts into a door.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, basically like he was. So the wood was, from what I remember, the wood was like made from like a tree that had like Zeus's like DNA or something. I don't know. It was I was like, okay, not real.
It's one of those books where you just read it just to see the ridiculousness of it.
Yeah, I did. And then in my mind, I was like, it's 71 pages. I'm behind on my book goal. So I'm just going to pump that out. And I was like, this is terrible. It was so bad. And for 71 pages, there's a lot of plot. There's a lot of shit going on in that book. There was a murderer. There was a almost poison. Like, it was crazy. I was like, okay, finish it up. Like, wow, how does this? And then then they spent all that time kind of building that story. And then like the culmination of events happened. And then it was like 3 weeks later. And I was like, what the fuck happened in the 3 weeks? So whatever. It could have been. And then people were so mad because it wasn't 69 pages.
Oh God.
Yeah. They're like, it could have been at 69 pages. It would have been funnier. And she was like, I tried. And I'm like, this is so weird.
I'm reading a novella right now that's 99 pages and I have 9 pages left. And I was like, I can't bang this out before we start recording, but it's called No Place to Hide. And it's about like 2 people basically fucking at like a carnival after hours. It's pretty fucking hot.
What's that?
He like chases her through the amusement park. It's great.
Like, because she wants to be chased?
Yeah.
Like,
well, yeah. Okay. Yeah. She agrees to it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. She agrees to it.
Yes.
Well, that's all that matters. Otherwise,
because
that sounds like a horror book.
It kind of feels like it.
A smut book sounds like horror.
Yeah.
Anyways, the fuck are we talking about?
Last time we were talking about Disney movies. Now we're talking about smut books. That's how we're starting the podcast.
This is what we're doing. So today's PS episode is going to be about starting over. There's been such a theme with my clients and personal life lately of starting over and restarting. And honestly, I feel like your personal life too, Steph, of like all of the damn fucking the cardinal signs and then the other signs moving through this God, what is it? A retrograding Saturn? I don't know what it is, but they are going fucking through it. And I will say it is so convenient for all of my like Aries placement to clients is like now that I'm seeing just this connection of a lot of them are quitting toxic jobs, leaving it behind, quitting toxic relationships, moving on from them. Even my partner he put in his week notice today at the place that he's working at, because he doesn't want to give up on his dream of doing being an independent contractor, because some shit went down 2 years ago where his truck broke and a whole saga ensued, and now everything's fixed and he's ready to go. And we've been waiting for this call, and he was really struggling to believe in himself of like, okay, well, I can do this. Like I can take this risk. And I was like, fucking quit today. Don't even give a fucking notice. Just walk out that bitch. I told him too, before he left too, I was like, make sure, again, if anybody starts to get slick with you, we have plenty to hold. We will make do. We will hold you down. No problemo. Because it is way more beneficial for us to have you home here and helping and doing things versus you being at this place of business all hours of the fucking goddamn day. So
I think the themes that I've noticed with my clients or in my life or in people's lives, that in my friend, whatever, loved ones' lives, Jesus Christ, get your words together. It feels like a Monday where I'm like stumbling over my words.
It does feel very Monday-y.
Right?
I would say that.
I know. It's so irritating.
Or like Sunday afternoon-y.
Yeah. Some of the starting over points that I discussed this past week were like starting over in a weight loss journey, starting over with trying to get off medication or like titrate down on medication and wanting to kind of like start anew, so to speak. What other thing? Oh, I kind of love when they're teens, but like when my younger clients are starting college. And I get to like hear about their exciting experience. And I had a session yesterday and it was like a really positive experience for her. And she's like, honestly, I don't even feel like I need my meds anymore. I'm like at such a better, like I'm at peace down here when I'm not at home with my mom. And I was like, well, that happens sometimes.
You're like, right one.
Yeah.
Well, and I will say that too. I've noticed that I had 4 girls head into college, 4 girls into college. And I will say that it has absolutely felt like that, of like them finally getting into what they want to actually do and not having to feel stuck. Because a lot of them struggled with the high school experience, right? Whether it was just like cattiness from other people, whether it was just kind of like, I don't really vibe with like the high school idea and things like that, or just like, I did what I needed to do to get out of there. And that's what it was, which totally fine. I mean, every experience is valid in that. So I think it's nice to see them being able to move through that and start on the journey that they want to. But I will say it wasn't without all last year.
A lot of prep work.
A lot of that prep work of like, this isn't forever. Like, so I think when we're looking at starting over, it's really important to look at the way that we're speaking to ourselves of starting over, right? Of like, well, this is the beginning and I'm not gonna have to, it's gonna be too much, or I can't this, or whatever. Like if it's just coming from this negative aspect of like what you don't have, what you don't,
how much work it's gonna be, how tiring it's gonna be,
you know, what you're without, like all of those things. Like, if you look at the whole journey of anything, it seems daunting and overwhelming. Like if you're like, oh, I'm going to have a kid, and you're like, okay, now let's imagine the next 18 years of this kid's life. It's going to seem overwhelming and daunting. Of course. Like, let's look at, you know, the therapy journey that we're going to go on. Overwhelming and daunting. So I think it is so important to break it down into manageable steps or bite-sized pieces, or just even having that thought process of it is one step at a time. It is one day at a time. I cannot control what is going to happen in 3 months from now. So it is not purposeful for me to be paying attention to what is going to happen in 3 months from now. It's purposeful for me to look at, here's what's coming the next week. How can I prepare for that? I think that is one thing that I've been speaking to clients and even my partner about, of like speaking to him and being like, well, is this the right decision? Is it? And I'm like, dude, I don't think that there are right or wrong decisions. I think there's lessons in each of them. And even just his reflection on, I shouldn't have taken this job while I was waiting. I'm like, but here's the thing, you didn't know you were getting this call.
Correct.
And in the interim, we did need the income to support ourselves. We did need to be able to make some headway on some bills. You did need to do that. And also you needed to do it for yourself, to not lose, you know, the skill that it takes to drive a semi, but then also too, to feel like you're contributing, right? There's only so many times I can say like your presence here is loved and supported and needed, and what you're doing, you know, for me and around the house is amazing. But I also think that there's that just internal reflection of like, but I want to do more. Like, this doesn't bring me joy anymore. Helping like this isn't fun anymore. I want to do more, which I think that's what this provided. But I think it's like, you had the experience, it's taught you some things, and now we're moving on. And instead of just being like, reflecting on all of the negative things that we've realized with this job, reflect on what it has taught you.
Mm-hmm. I know that I joke sometimes, and we've talked about this before, but that I envy your thought processes when you make decisions, because you don't overthink things. No. And that's not a fault of your, like, I wish I could make decisions like you. Is it a choice to overthink things? Yes and no. Like, I will readily admit that sometimes it is not within my control. I have to catch it, right? So like initially it's not within my control. I have to catch it and be like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, just make a goddamn decision. And I don't overthink every decision of my life, but I will try to think it through in excess, because then I feel better prepared. Right. So I'm very similar when it comes to that kind of stuff, like, you know, Jeff is. But I was just thinking too about, like, so think about a weight loss journey. How many of us have lost a shit ton of weight and gained it back and had to start over? Hello, we're human beings. Thank you. We're human beings.
All of us.
So here's the thing. You can look at it as, I'm such a piece of shit. I can't believe I gained all that weight back. This is the fucking worst. This is going to be so hard. Why did I do this to myself? I'm so you can do that till the motherfucking cows come home.
Till they come home, till they leave the next morning. You can do it until you feed them the next. Here's the thing. Statistics have shown, journal articles have shown, shaming yourself into doing something isn't going to get you anywhere. It is not. It is only reconfirming that fear that I don't belong. I'm not lovable. I'm
a failure.
I'm a failure. Hello. Like, the 90s were detrimental.
Yes.
Like those talk shows, it was proven that, like, scared straight intervention, it doesn't fucking work.
Yes.
Because it's coming from the shame point. You don't need to shame yourself into, because here's the thing. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
You can't change it.
The reason you gain the weight, whether it's because of stress or it was some sort of medical issue, or it was because you were overeating because food is fucking delicious. I don't care what the reason is. If you are starting anew, you're starting anew. Bringing that negative ass energy into it isn't going to help. Recognize where the root is, right? If we're looking at DBT, balancing between acceptance and change, it is imperative to understand where the root is, in my opinion, so that you can start to move towards change.
And
so
work
it is
on those behaviors.
Yeah, it's important for you to focus on, you know, this is why I'm overeating. This makes sense. So then start to work towards change on it. Don't sit there and be like, well, I can't manage my emotions and I ate this and I'm a piece of shit and I'm this. It's not doing anything for anybody except re-solidifying that negative belief and negative thought process in your mind. And you can take overeating out of it and get weight gain out of it. And you can put in getting a new job, being a good worker, being a good wife, being a good husband, you know, being a good friend, whatever that you want to put. It doesn't matter the context. But if you're only sitting there looking at, I wasn't able to do this, I wasn't able to do that, like, how can you expect yourself to then be like, I want to work on myself now, if all you've done is berate yourself?
Sure. Well, and here's the thing. If you've done it before, you can look at it from the shame lens and say, I can't believe I'm having to start over again. I can't believe I'm putting myself through this. Or you can say, bitch, I've done this before and I'm going to do it again. Period. It's how you're talking to yourself about it. Is it going to be fun to, like, have to relive all of that stuff? No, but at the same time, reframing how you're talking to yourself about it, of like, okay, now I'm ready to start taking care of myself again. I wasn't for whatever reason. I'm going to accept that happened because I can't change it. And from here on out, here's what I'm going to do. It's the same thing. I had a client this week talk about how, you know, she's ending a marriage and, you know, starting over and things like that. And we talked about what that's going to be like if she wants to start dating. And again, that can all sound very daunting and scary. That's why I don't do it.